Welcome back to Daytime here on Rogers TV. We are outside squeezing every last little bit of sunshine possible, getting ready for gardening au natural. We're joined by Peter Ferragine from Ferragine Greenhouses, who is here to tell us how we can get involved with our gardens and getting stuff planted for the fall. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, you brought a wide variety of plants and just to be able to get different types of options for our fall gardening. And what do we got here?
That is a fall mum, a chrysanthemum.
Okay.
So this is really, really good. A lot of people like using these for the fall. They love the cool weather. That's usually when they can last a lot longer in the cool weather. So usually when you're choosing yourself a chrysanthemum, you want to get something, when you go to the garden center, something that's a little bit more closed up. Something along this line, so that way that the flowers can last you a lot longer.
That's a really good point, because when I go, I want to get them when they're more like these bright, beautiful, already open type of flowers.
That's still okay, because you got quite a few buds, and don't be afraid to take off the heads when they die. Deadhead them. I know flower enthusiasts will kill me right now, but when the flowers are dead, literally just break it down on the stem. Get rid of that flower so that more buds can come up and more flowers can show.
Okay, I'm taking my rings off because I'm about to get dirty here. So you just...
I'm worried.
This looks like it's alive to me.
That is. It definitely is. I was just giving an example of how to pick off the flowers.
Okay, so what am I looking for if I'm deadheading? What do I look for?
You want to find flowers that are already spent. For example... I could bring up this one here.
This is not yours.
This one wasn't brought by me.
Not
However,
brought by you.
This needs deadheading. Well, actually, this needs throwing out by now. But at this point, when the flowers actually start to go a bit brown, that's when you want to pick it off, because usually there are buds underneath. These actually have a couple of buds still.
Look at that.
And those buds will come up and then flower. So, but by having all this dead stuff on top, the flowers will never show up. So you'll never get those flowers coming out.
All right, so that's important. But I'm always afraid to pick them off because it feels like I'm hurting them. Am I hurting them?
Well, that's what I mean. No, a lot of people get worried about that, but it's like your hair.
Yeah.
Flowers love haircuts. They can actually branch out and bush out even more, right? They become more healthier. So it's the same with your hair. You need to get a haircut once in a while to make it healthy. Otherwise you get dead ends and, split ends or whatever.
No, we could just go on and on and on.
Yeah, one big thing about no. But yeah, you want to give them a little haircut here and there. It doesn't hurt the plant. It actually does much better for the plant.
Okay, so when you end up going to the greenhouse to go and get your plants, specifically with this, are they very fragile when you take them out of the pots and planters? Like, do you need to be careful? How should I go about taking this one out?
If you were to plant a mum plant with something like this, mums are actually very fragile and the branches can break very, very easily. So if you were to plant a mum, what you want to do is you want to place your hand in the bottom, put your fingers between the stem.
All right.
That's right. Now tip the pot, squeeze the pot a little bit to loosen up the bottom soil, and then pull the plant out.
Pull it out. Oh, there we go. Just like that.
There you go. Exactly. Now you can take this plant, put it in, if you have a planter or a garden or something, just make a hole with the soil and then drop it inside, and then mound it back up. If you go to grab it by the top of the head, you can easily snap the branches, and then you got no mum anymore.
And then you got pas de mum, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. So
deformed.
When you end up putting this in a planter or in your garden, how deep of a hole do you have to dig it? Does it need to be completely covered right here, same level?
Usually about same level is where you want to keep it. Where the soil is, that is where you would put the base of the plant.
Okay.
So it's very simple, very straightforward. You don't want to bury it too much, obviously, because when the plant's underground, it won't do well, and then the plant can actually rot from all the from the moisture and everything just holding it in there. The plant can rot. And if it's too high, the roots, depending on the development, may not be able to suck up the water properly.
Okay. So keep it level.
Just keep her level.
About it.
Just
that's all you
keep her
gotta
level.
know.
That's all you got to do.
When do you start planting these types?
Fall, now.
Right
This is the time you want to get involved with this stuff. Now that the nights, I was saying earlier, now that the nights are getting a lot cooler, you're talking dropping down to 4 or 5 degrees, everything's starting to look a little tired, not as vibrant as they used to, right? Especially if you have begonias and impatiens. Those things are not going to look that sharp right now. So you'd want to pull them out and start putting in some fall stuff. Again, you want to look for something that's not fully bloomed out, because if it's fully bloomed out, you're not going to get much time out of it at all.
Right.
So you want to get something that is still just coming along and can flower for the rest of the season.
So talk about the choices and options that you brought for fall gardening. What did you bring here for us today?
Very, very popular in fall time. You've got all your fall mums, your chrysanthemums that we've talked about already, your flowering cabbage and your flowering kales. They've got beautiful, beautiful color right in the center. And like this will open up even further and it'll show you more purple. I've got one down there too that'll have more white in the center. You've got kales and cabbages, so you've got different foliage textures. And then along with grasses, grasses are very, very popular in the fall time. A lot of grasses aren't perennial, so if you are looking for something perennial, you just make sure that you ask somebody who knows what they're talking about. But a lot of people assume all of them are, and they're not. So other than that, there are pansies are really popular in the fall time, icicle pansies. I didn't bring any today. Asters, fall asters are really, really popular in the fall as well, and you get a lot of color out of those.
And do all of these things grow well together? Is there anything like should not be close together in your garden? Like,
not really.
No?
Like I'm a Picasso myself. I like to just throw things together, slap it on the board, and see what happens. Right? All the mixed colors is great. When you're dealing with stuff that's perennial, though, if you figure that this mum is going to come back for you the following year, because mums are perennial, they will come back. You want to make sure you give it the space if you're planting a bunch of them side by side, because the following year it'll come bigger.
Right.
Mums usually grow the size of the container. That's why this one will grow this big, whereas this guy will stay this big. Same variety, but you're not getting this. You're not getting the bigger sizes, right? When you have it in a garden and the garden's wide open, it can get much bigger.
much bigger.
Yeah.
Now, when you come to the greenhouse, do you guys know? Obviously, you know all about this information. You have a rookie coming in, wants to plant something for fall.
Yep.
Do you have to have the full sun, shade? What do you deal with the temperament of these plants in the fall?
Well, these usually particularly like more sun. Make sure you take a look at the tags. Most plants should have tags with them. They will tell you if they're full sun to shade.
Yeah.
A lot of people will jump on things just because they look pretty, right? It happens a lot. So you just want to make sure that you're getting the proper plants for the sections, because if you put something that's meant for full sun in a full shaded area, you're not going to get that look that you're looking for. You want it to be nice and vibrant. Looks amazing at the garden center. You put it in your garden in a shady spot, give it a week, the thing's not going to look as nice as it did.
Right.
So you just got to make sure you read the tags. Don't be afraid to ask questions. A lot of people get really you know, they're held back when they get in the garden center. Sometimes it becomes too much. There's way too much going on. They don't know what to do. Ask questions. It's really, really simple. Gardens should be a hobby. They should be really fun. They shouldn't be frustrating.
They shouldn't be frustrating. We're going to find out how you have everyday options in your own house to take care of your plants. Stay with us. We got more to come right here on Daytime.